Nice one. Hi. Got everything all set. Good morning. Oops. Hi, Reuben. Good morning. Julie Luce, Julie Luce, Julie. How are you? Ooh. Ooh. Fitting, for sure. Hi, Mark. You guys, I have to say, what a weekend. What a weekend. I'm still a little blown away at what happened on 11/11 with Jenna. And my tea wasn't ready. So, hi, Loanne. What an upside down world. A Cheshire cat is smiling. He winks at you and says it's your turn. Now what is your next move? Oh. Everyone's in costume. They ask if you are coming to tea. And did you bring your spoon? I gotta get my tea. Funny how just one thought can make you grow so small and look so tall. Surrealistic. Everything's so strange, rearranged. What an upside down world. Who's there? Who's there? Who's there? Check this out. Good morning, Jeff. Who did I miss? I had to get my tea. She said tea in the song, and I went, tea? Is that Eileen? Good morning, David. Ready for the bees, the beehive. The walrus knows the pearls will never be. She leaps into the sea. Sentimental, that's Lillian digging. Everything's so strange, rearranged. What an upside down world. Bill Ortiz on trumpet. Ba, 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 da, da. Oh, ba, 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 da, da, da. Ba, 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 da, da. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Oh. 11. There are 11 people. Catherine, Mike Talbot there. Hi, you guys. Mike. Oh, isn't that pretty? Kind of reminds me of you, Julie. How are you, Jeff? Eileen. Upside down world. Seems rather appropriate. It's a song inspired by Grace Slick and Alice in Wonderland. Mm-hmm. Kind of makes me, because, let's see, where do I start? I'm just still so excited to be here right now with all of you. Lynette, you're going to love today. Lynette, you're going to love today. I met this woman, well, I'll backtrack. So Rolf and I play in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. And Lewisburg is his childhood town where his father worked at the university that I can't think of this second. Kind of scared. Help me. Anyway, we were doing this concert, and there was this beautiful woman in the audience. I see shoes and beauty and connection, and I feel it. And there's this gorgeous, long-haired, just person full of heart that, look, thank you, Bucknell University. I say every time we go to Lewisburg and we drive through the campus of Bucknell, I've just gotten smarter. I think, wow, I feel smarter just being on this campus. And it's so beautiful, and it's in an Amish country, so they have on Wednesdays they have the farmers market, and you can buy all kinds of crazy food. And no, I can't talk right now, Sibylla. I'm online. I'm on 11:11 with Jenna. So anyway, this woman comes up. Was it at the I know where it was. I know exactly when we met. And we just started talking, and then she kept coming to shows and driving from wherever she lives hours away. And I think the last time was at Cynthia's and Roz. Cindy and Roz, where are you? I need to turn me down. I'm too loud. Hi, Elena. And Loanne. Good morning, Dave Padilla. Dave Padilla in the square, in the rectangle. Dave, how would you like to be on 11:11 with Jenna? I think you kind of have a little bit of experience in this realm. Anyway, so Loanne and I meet. Her name is Loanne, and she buys my CD, and then she buys a couple more CDs, and then one day she said, I don't know if I've told you about my daughter or not, but she's a painter, and she is a fabulous artist. And I'm sure she does more than paint, so forgive me. I haven't been to her studio. But I'm going to bring something to you next time I see you. And it's in California, unfortunately. But it's a calendar. Every card is a month with these incredible illustrations, which happen to be large-scale paintings that she's converted into these beautiful... Good morning, Rich. Hi. And her name is Elodie. And I first saw this calendar, and I flipped out, and I go, this I have to buy one of her paintings. Well, this is not hers. No, totally different. Because it's just not time yet for me to do that. But it's time today to have her on the show, so I'm super excited about that. And I'm just happy. I'm happy that we're here. I'm happy that people are healthy, and those that aren't, let's just take a moment. For those that are fighting for their lives, and those that are fighting with them for their lives. All the health workers. All the people making food, people making masks. Did you guys happen to see France is making the dentists go back to work, and without enough protection, masks and stuff. So a bunch of
French dentists have posed in the nude in front of their chairs. Like, yeah, I'll come work on you, completely exposed. It's so important to protect ourselves, but, you know, to what extent, right? This isn't going to cut it as a dentist. You need, like, whole, full-on. I know, Emily. I know. Life is different. It's different. But that's why it's so important to have art and music and literature, beautiful poems, and I appreciate you too, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Art, for me, you know, for anybody. I mean, that's like, I know a couple people that don't like chocolate. Like, ooh, chocolate. Ooh. And I'm like, good, your dentist just canceled your May 4th appointment. I'm sorry for you. But some dentists I know are doing, you know, emergency stuff, but are you okay with that? I have an appointment on May 8th that I'm going to cancel. It's in California, and I'm not going to fly back for a doctor's appointment, but, you know, it'll happen. You are happy. Good, good. You know what I'm not happy with is this little bump in my hair. May I have makeup and hair, please? Makeup and hair? Thank you. Oh, makeup. Sorry, Lil. I should teach Lillian how to do this, huh? So I'm happy for you if you're happy. Back to art. Back to this fabulous, fabulous. Wow. She's incredible. Her name is Elodie, and I want to know more about that. Elodie Geikis. Her parents are super cool people. I'm just going to call her. I'm going to call her right now. Roger. Okay, everyone. Let's just do a... Hello, Roger Dillahunty. How are you, sir? I can't wait to come back to the Bay Area and take a class. Are you going to be doing any virtual classes? And if so, and would you like to come on the show sometime and you could teach us a routine? I would love that. Love, love, love. Roger Dillahunty is one of the most magnificent choreographers and makes dance so fun. I'm adjusting my tripod for Elodie. Elodie, Elodie. I could write a song about Elodie. Elodie on 11/11. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I had on a big gray thing earlier, but then it's going to be warm here today. It's supposed to be 60 degrees here. I don't believe them, but
well, it's very chilly in my apartment, but maybe it will get warmer later.
Did you make that doll that's behind your head?
I sure did.
Did you really?
I'd be happy to show my puppets.
Thanks, puppets.
I've got several, but I'll show you my prints.
You guys, this is Elodie. Elodie. And you're in New York or Brooklyn?
Yep, I'm in Brooklyn.
You're in Brooklyn, okay. I mean New York, but you're not in the city, you're in Brooklyn. Okay. Hi, Sherry.
Yes.
I love you too, Roger. I have people on the feed. Your mom's here.
Hi.
So you make, okay, what are you drinking today? What tea, coffee?
This is ginger, lemon, hibiscus, and rosehip tea.
Nice.
But I've switched over from black tea. I started with black, and now I'm doing the herbal concoction.
That sounds good. That's about how I roll. I love hibiscus. I love everything you just said.
Yeah, and it's all just like whole things, slice of ginger, just a bunch of floating things in my cup.
I bet it's beautiful. Kind of looks like. Do you have lemon in it? Did you say?
I do.
Okay.
Lemon, ginger, hibiscus, and rosehip.
I think I'm only missing the hibiscus. Might have to remedy that, huh, Lil? We'll have to go get some hibiscus. Lil's like, go. Do you have any animals?
No animals.
Okay. But
just
lots
my dog and my plants. I've got a lot of plants.
Are you living with people?
Not anymore. I had a roommate, but she left New York for Seattle, which is her home, 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So just on my own here now.
How's that?
Very strange.
Yeah.
Mostly okay. I've lived alone lots of times before, but never when I'm alone all day and all night. So that makes it extremely different. Normally being alone is a respite from, busy, crowded days full of people. Yeah, it's very strange being alone all the time. You're alone too, right?
I am, with my dog, Lily and Pearl. Thank goodness. Are you walking?
Yes, I take a walk every day.
What are you close to? Where are you in Brooklyn? You don't have to say exactly, but around.
I'm close to the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens, which
good.
Be my wonderful respite from the city. I have a membership, and I would go several times a week, but they're closed due to the quarantine. So unfortunately, I was so excited to do springtime in the Botanic Gardens with the cherry blossoms.
Sure.
And
can you walk? You can walk around it though. It's a nice walk. It's a good walk around.
Park. But I tend to walk in the other direction and just walk through the neighborhoods. There's so many streets with, beautiful brownstones and little gardens and a lot of flowering trees on the streets. So I tend to just walk the quiet residential streets that are further east of me.
And you've been managing a studio space?
Yes, I have. I'm the leaseholder on a big warehouse studio that's been subdivided into 5 artist studios that are then further shared by people. And so anyway, I collect everybody's rent and pay the landlord, which has been really great because it means that I get my studio for free whenever the studios are full. Mm-hmm. But it's a little bit stressful right now as so many of the artists who are renting from me have, either are freelance or have jobs in the service industry, and so they're losing their income. So we're all in a bit of a pinch right now. But so far, we're holding on to our lease and doing okay.
Good. Your landlord's working with you?
A little bit. Like they're waiving late fees and allowing us to pay partial rent if we promise to make it up within 2 months. So they're working with us a little bit.
And did you have shows set up?
I had several shows that were canceled and one show that was delayed and hopefully will still happen. But yes, there's several group shows that were canceled.
Yeah, it's the life of an artist, right? It's the life of all of us. It's all different. Before, I forget what my friend called it before. I'll look it up. But anyway, so I don't know your story. I don't know when you first picked up a pen or a piece of chalk or fabric, but you can start wherever you want. College, wherever. I'm open. I want to hear everything. So.
Sure. So my history as an artist starts very young. You know my mother a little bit,
I'm a big fan of your mother's and your father.
Me too. Well, they're both extremely creative people, and actually, I don't know if you know this, but both of them have degrees in art. And my mother's mother, my grandmother, was also an art teacher, a high school art teacher. Okay. So growing up as a kid, there was a lot of encouragement. I mean, I love to draw, and there was a lot of encouragement to create art. And every time I visited with my grandmother, she would have a different a different art project for me and my cousins to do. We were her other art class that she taught was
Fun.
yeah, super fun. And she was super creative and would teach us how to do like marbling or also my mom's sister taught me how to sew. And being around my father growing up as his construction, like I was able to like play with his scraps of wood and nail things together. And we lived in Lewisburg at the time, and so when I was very young, we lived in the woods, and I spent a lot of time alone, just wandering around in the woods and doing things, and drawing and building like little imaginary fairy kingdoms. So being creative was something that was a part of my life all the way back to my youngest memories, but I didn't start taking it seriously and thinking of myself as an artist until maybe in high school. And when I was in high school, I was lucky enough to get accepted to the Pennsylvania Governor's School for the Arts, which does not exist anymore, unfortunately. It was cut from the budget, Pennsylvania's budget, several years ago, but it was a full scholarship, merit-based 3-month art program that was held at a university over the summer.
Hold on one second.
It was this amazing moment where it brought all the kids who were like the weird, creative, artsy type from their school and kind of alone and didn't have anyone who kind of got them and threw us all together the entire summer. And it was just an experience that just blew apart my boundaries and made me feel like I belonged and like had a gang. I'm still friends with a lot of them, and so from that point on, art became pretty primary. And I went to undergrad for ceramics and painting, and I just finished a graduate degree, an MFA in painting here in New York, which is what brought me to New York originally. So yeah, art is my thing.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I saw you right when you finished, I think. We were there, was it May of last year?
I had just graduated when I saw you.
And I thought Sibylla might know that I'm online, but sorry, hold on a second.
No worries.
Yeah, you had just graduated, like you were celebrating that weekend.
Yep. Yeah, that was a wonderful day. My friend was visiting, and we had an amazing brunch. What was that club called that we were at in the Lower East Side? So lovely.
Something C's.
Anyway, it was.
It's good friends of Rolf's.
And then when we walked away, we walked from there and like found this random rose garden and played with the roses, and I was tipsy for my watermelon mimosas while I was listening to you sing.
They made good cocktails there, didn't they?
They really did.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to a ballet matinee, so it was a very fancy day for me. I had a jazz brunch and a ballet matinee in one day, and it was just glorious.
Another day in New York City.
Yes, one of those magical days in New York that that makes all of the hard days in New York totally worthwhile.
Yes, it's nothing like it, that's for sure. Just like puppy snuggles. This is Lillian Pearl. So, and the puppets, did you start puppet-wise?
So, the story of the puppet is, so I do have some background in sculpture, even though my focus has been painting. And so while I was in graduate school, I took this amazing class. It was called mixed media animation. So basically we made handmade animation. So either where you draw every frame or where you build a sculpture and then, move it and take a picture and move it and take a picture like claymation. So that's puppets. So I made a film. So this is my prince, and he's naked right now. Sorry for his...
The naked prince. Oh, he's really naked, isn't he?
Super naked, yeah.
An anatomically correct prince.
Yeah, he had clothing, but I took it off for a photo shoot and never put it back on. But he's fully articulated, so he has an aluminum armature, so I can pose him in any way, and he will hold the pose. And I made a story that was,
wow.
So my prince was, well, I can show you. So my prince was kidnapped by a dragon I'll give you the dragon too. Here's my dragon.
Wow.
Also fully articulated. Little eyeballs move and his mouth opens and he's got these big teeth and a tongue. He even shoots fire. But so my dragon kidnapped my prince, and then he was seduced and rescued by a female knight in shining armor. So it was just a very simple fairy tale with a little gender role swap twist. So I call the prince my dandy in distress. My female knight is the damsel of dominance. So that was the little story that I made. So I made a little movie.
Oh, you made a movie?
Yeah, it's a 6-minute short film. I'll send you the link.
If you could please post it on this feed, that would be great, so people could check it out.
I will at the end.
Okay, great.
I'll have to look up the link.
How fun! And where is the woman? Where's the female part of all this? She's incredible. I'm telling you, this woman is. I know such cool people.
Here's the lady, and she has a full suit of armor, but she also is not wearing.
She's a naked girl. Cool.
There's the girl. She's a brunette. He's a redhead.
Beautiful. Does she shoot fire?
No, only the dragon shoots fire, but she has a sword.
Cool. And does she wear cool boots?
Super cool boots.
Mm-hmm.
Her boots kind of look like astronaut moon boots, like big and bulky, but they're pretty cool.
Nice. That's incredible. And you did this. Have you painted him? Have I seen him in your?
I made a series of paintings based on the story as well. So yes, you've seen them all in paintings, and you will see it in the film when I send you the link.
Beautiful. Tell us more. This is your time.
Another thing that I can tell you about is, so while I've been, trying to spend more time at home and less time in my studio so that I, can be safe and all that, I've started doing a lot of projects that are, really small and I can do right here on this table. And so I've gotten into stamp carving. So I can show you some of my recent stamps.
Stamp carving.
So I've been carving like small, simple little stamps that can repeat and to make fancy patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a triangle, the stamp itself. This is the stamp, so it's just this little triangle, but it makes this.
Can you bring that closer? The stamp itself. Oh wow. Oh, far out.
And then I'll show you some other patterns I've made.
Beautiful.
So that's been super fun. And I've also started doing watercolor monotypes at home, which I won't explain that whole process to you, but it's pretty cool. Here's another pattern. But the cool thing is that I'm trying to figure out a way to combine the stamp making with the watercolor monotypes. So here's an example of one of the monotypes that I made after it's been.
Yay! Frida. She's right here.
Yeah, she's very Frida inspired. But the way the monotypes work is I paint them on plastic. So
What?
So this is a painted one that I haven't printed yet. If I hold a white piece of paper behind it, you'll be able to see the image. And then once it's printed, then it has this kind of speckly look like this. But what I'm going to try next is I'm going to try combining the stamp making. So I haven't printed this one yet, but I'm going to combine the stamp pattern thing with the monotype process and see if I can stamp patterns and get it to work in the monotypes. So that's my current at-home project that I'm having a lot.
You're getting a lot of wows. You're getting a lot of wows from me, and you're getting a lot of wows from people across the country.
That's awesome. Here, I'll show you a few more of my monotypes. I'm doing a series of based on vintage photographs. Here's another little lady.
Hello.
And let's see. This one's one of my favorites. You can see this one bled a lot in the printing.
That's cool.
So when you do the monotype process, it gets a very, it changes a lot. You get a lot of randomness, which is fun. You never know what you're going to get, and you have to embrace the chaos. So,
yay,
anyway.
Chaos! Ooh, chaos! Those are, I mean, wow. That's all. I'm just gonna stay at wow. I'm good there. How fun for you!
Yes. So that's one thing that one thing that just makes me feel so lucky is, as an artist who's a visual artist, unlike a performer, yes, I've had a lot of things canceled. My shows and my openings are canceled, but my day-to-day life has always involved a lot of time alone making stuff. And so in that way, my life hasn't changed and I can still do my work. So that feels like an enormous blessing.
I'm with you on that. But I'm curious about the stamps. I know I go back to like the smallest. Are you carving them out of, are they rubber?
Yeah.
Are they, okay.
Exactly. So you can carve stamps out of white erasers, but I've been carving them out of just linoleum. So I get a sheet of linoleum for linoleum carving, and then I slice it up into my stamp shapes, and then I carve them. Oh, I don't have my carving tools right here, but yeah, I have linoleum carving tools that I carve the patterns into them with. And then it's so cool because for not that much work, when you make the little stamp with the pattern in it,
super far out.
you can, stamp it and fill up the space. Here's another one. This is one of my favorite stamps that I've made.
Ooh. Spectacular.
It's just so satisfying. So that's this stamp. So this one little guy can make these beautiful, beautiful patterns. So yeah, I've become a little bit obsessed with the stamp carving.
I think it's wonderful.
And that's another thing that my mom taught me how to do when I was a kid. She and I did stamp carving for fun a long time ago. So,
of course you did. Stamp carving. I've never met a stamp carver before.
Well, now you know that you've met two, because you've met me and Luann. Luann's very good at it.
Hi, Luann. Hi, Luann. How's your dad? Last time I saw your dad, he had broken his arm?
Yeah. So you must have seen him a little less than a year ago. Yeah, at the end of last summer, we went on a family camping trip, and he fell while fishing. Landed on a rock and snapped some bone in his, I don't know, maybe this one.
But he's playing guitar now.
Yes, he's better. Though he can only play guitar for so long, and then, he's amazing. Like, his hands will, start going numb, and he keeps playing guitar. So, not scary for you.
I have a feeling that your hands might go numb and you would still paint.
That's kind of true. And that is an amazing thing about when you get so involved in what you're doing. I often notice that, when I'm really into painting, I'll notice that I've had to pee for 2.5 hours, right. And I've just never taken the moment to stand up and go pee, even though I totally can and I'm on my own schedule. You just kind of, when you get really into it, you get so lost in it that you forget to take care of yourself. So
I do that when I'm in the studio and people go, okay, let's break to eat. And I'm like, eat for what? For what? Come on, let's just keep playing. And they're like, Jenna, we need to eat some food. And I love food. I'm like, food girl.
Right.
Okay, I'll eat. And then I don't even really eat anyway. I just pretend. And then I want to go back in the studio and make more music. So
right.
I
yeah,
understand.
When you're in, even wonderful food has no draw.
So now you're here in New York, in Brooklyn, and you're deciding to go back to Pennsylvania for a while?
Yeah.
For now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, my roommate left 2 weeks ago, and I thought that I could stick it out for a while, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that that I probably should have some human contact, and that would be better for me. And there's no real reason for me to be here. Since all of my events and all of my work that are here is canceled, I might as well go to Pennsylvania and be in nature and see people I love. I'm going to stay in a cabin for 2 weeks to self-quarantine, just in case I'm carrying it. And then I'm going to interact with my family. And in the meantime, I'll get to go and walks in the woods and keep doing my little projects. I'm going to bring my art supplies with me. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
And do your parents, I know your dad built the house that they live in. Is that the house you grew up in?
So when I was 7 years old, we moved from one house that my father built in Pennsylvania, in Lewisburg, to another house that he built in Penns Valley. So I grew up in 2 different houses in 2 different locations, both of which were incredibly beautiful, and both of which my father designed and built.
Yeah, Rolf has mentioned that a couple of times, and of course your parents, thank you very much, have invited me to, when you and Rolf are playing sometime, let's do a house concert, or let's do, maybe we could do a house concert and display your art or this new stuff that you're doing. Wow, I'm a stick figure person.
Well, I can't sing a single note, so we all have our talents, and you are certainly not short on talent.
I've always wanted, thank you. I'm always impressed because, okay, so check this out. Because I've, bartended, cocktailed, waitressed since I was born, because my grandparents had a bar, so I've been around that scene. And then working in restaurants, hello Terry, and then continuing on to singing in clubs and bars all over the world. I'm always so impressed when someone can draw on a cocktail napkin. And I sit there and go, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I could. They're like, Jenna, it's a cocktail napkin. I'm like, no, it's so cool.
Yeah. Well, I've always felt that way about musicians and singers, because I don't have an on-key bone in my body.
Well, maybe we could swap lessons sometime. You could
swap lessons. That would be so much fun.
I would love that. I mean, I want to become a stamp carver.
Well, that's the thing is, with the visual art, there's so many different kinds of visual art that, if you have a passion for it and want to learn, there's no doubt that, especially with the right teacher, that you would come across a medium that you would have enough aptitude and excitement for to find something that you're good at. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it isn't oil painting, but, maybe it's stamp carving. And, there's so many different ways to make art. So.
I did a lot as a child. Do you think that you were born with it?
So I think that artistic talent, just like every other skill, is a combination of natural aptitude and insane amounts of practice. I think that's true of music as well. Some people learn it faster, but everyone has to learn it. Everyone has to practice. I've drawn so many thousands of drawings of faces, and I still feel like I'm learning how to draw a face. It's hard. So, I think I have a natural aptitude for it, or, maybe it isn't even so much aptitude as interest and obsession. The fact that I still want to keep practicing even after my first attempts were terrible. So I don't know whether it's aptitude or obsession,
I love that. And desire. I mean, I like the word obsession when it comes to that, because I hear a song and I go, oh, I have to learn that song. Or now I'm starting to write again and I'm excited to be doing that, but it's hard to do it alone for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to, I hope, not hope that he likes it, but I know, anything I present to Rolf is, we manage to do something, but, we don't know when we're going to be doing this again. So that
right.
You can sit there and create. I love those overlays. I think that's just I'm blown away. I thought I would be. Do you have any of your paintings around you at all?
Let's see. I have one.
I'm so excited to see the film.
Oh, I'm so excited to show it to you. So the painting that I'm about to show you, it's a little bit large, so let's see. Can you see it all right?
Yeah.
It's a painting of irises by a pond.
Is this a particular pond that I've heard about?
I don't know if it's a particular pond that you've heard about, but it's a very special painting to me. So, you know, it's an interesting thing as an artist, your relationship with your art in the sense of, like, when you feel ready to, you know, for some artists it's hard to sell their work because they become attached to it. But of course you have to sell your work to keep being an artist. So, you know, you have to find a balance. And, but every once in a while I let myself keep one of my own paintings and I don't sell it, even if I have an opportunity to. And that's quite rare, but it's always because it indicates some sort of pivotal moment in my artistic life.
Okay.
And so I just need to keep it. And the reason why I've kept that one all of these years is because it's the first plein air painting. So plein air painting is when you go outside and paint in
plein air. Okay.
Right. So I started going plein air painting because I just thought I should give it a try, and I like being outside. I was trying to paint, you know, giant landscapes on tiny little places. That's the way most plein air work, because you have to carry your stuff. So people get a little panel and their little plein air easel, and they go walk out somewhere with a nice view, and they paint a giant landscape on a tiny little canvas. And every time I tried doing that, it just came out horribly. I don't work well small. I like working large, and you know, plein air painting is fast, so it's more like big brush strokes and generalizations. And so when I try to cram big views into tiny paintings, they just look terrible. And so anyway, on this day, I took a big canvas and I painted a small thing. You know, I just painted the flowers on the edge of this pond. I didn't try to do a whole view. And I had so much fun, and it came out well, and I discovered that I loved plein air painting. So anyway, it was just like, it was a moment in my life as an artist, and so I felt like I had to keep that painting. So that's sort of how it works for me when it comes to keeping my own work.
That's beautiful. I thought maybe it was part of Monet's garden.
Nope, but it was kind of the beginning of that trajectory.
Can you speak of that moment in life?
So, I got my Master of Fine Arts at the New York Academy of Art, which is a small fine art graduate school in Tribeca. And one of the very cool things that they do is that, so MFA programs tend to be 2 years. And so this is a 2-year program. And between the first year and the second year, that in between summer, they award a few fully funded artist residencies. And an artist residency just means, you know, and stays somewhere and makes art there for a while, like not just for a day or two, but for a while. And usually they make work that's influenced by the place that they're in. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's just a way to get away from it all on your work. But anyway, I got to be one of the people who got a residency, and I got sent to France, to Giverny, which is the village where Monet lived the latter part of his life, and painted all of his, it's where he had his gardens and where he built his water lily pond and painted all of those water lily paintings. And it's an incredibly magical place. It had gone into disrepair, and then sometime, I think in the 80s, somebody bought the property and started restoring it, and they've done their best to restore the gardens to as they were. And now it's a big tourist attraction, and it gets quite crowded, especially in the summertime. And so as part of this residency, I was staying nearby, they gave us passes to the gardens where we could go after when all the tourists left.
Wow.
So I got to spend the hours of like 5 like about by myself.
Say that again, because your feed just got messed up. You spent the hours from when?
Around 5 to 7. So I'd have about 2.5 hours to bust out a painting. But it was during that beautiful evening, magical twilight hour.
The perfect light. The perfect light. Oh.
Perfect light. And I'd have the gardens to myself. Like, sometimes there'd be a few gardeners there. Sometimes there'd be 1 or 2 other artists there. But it was so magical. Those hours having the gardens to myself was just, like, amazing.
Okay.
Also, the gardens were amazing, but also the whole village was amazing. And we had free reign to go wherever we wanted. I had a bicycle, and there were all kinds of hiking trails, and it was just perfect, you know, all the beautiful little stone cottages, and it just felt like being in a fairy tale.
It sounds like you were in a fairy tale. Did you stay with a family?
What's that?
Were you living with a family or with a host family or on your own?
No, the whole house was given to us artists. So I was with three. I was given to 3 other artists. So there were 4 of us. 3 other artists. Okay. Beautiful house that was 2 blocks away from Monet's Gardens, one of his neighbors' homes. It was a gorgeous house. We had our own room and our little kitchen, and we were living in the lap of luxury. It was perfect.
It sounds perfect.
There's a little bakery down the street with the best bread. Oh my God, it was amazing.
How incredible! What a life! And that was recently. That was in the last year. 2 years.
So not last summer, but the summer before that. So just over a year ago.
All these things are happening today with me. I charged everything up. So what are your plans for today?
So with the stamping and the watercolor monotype thing, my next move, I'm going to do a few experimental prints to make sure that the stamping is working. But I'm going to do another series of portraits of women from vintage photographs, but with like stamp patterned backgrounds. But I'm going to do them, so you know that this year, 2020, is the 100-year anniversary of the 19th Amendment, which is women's right to vote. So I'm going to do a little series of monotypes in celebration of that.
Vote, right?
Where I talk about, you know, kind of where women's rights and feminism is now. So I have these printed out references that are just like some historical photographs of the suffragette movement. But I'm going to replace their signs. Instead of votes for women, I'm going to replace their signs with, like, you know, Me Too and, like, you know, contemporary feminist slogans. So that's my plan for today, is to work on those, and I'm really excited.
Well, would you consider coming back and discussing those when they're finished?
I'd be delighted to.
Before you leave. When are you planning on moving?
On Friday.
Oh, wow. Well, you're welcome to come back before if you get them finished, or if you want to share them. Are you going to have Wi-Fi at the cabin that you're staying?
I will not, but after those 2 weeks, I will have Wi-Fi again.
Okay. Well,
I have something to show you by Friday.
Okay, come back. My mornings are all. You were my Monday morning, and my evenings are full, but my mornings are usually kind of freestyle. Sometimes I just call someone that's online, and sometimes when there's someone special like you, I make that happen. So, and if you can make it happen again, please come back.
I'd be delighted. Mornings are perfect for me.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Elodie.
It's my pleasure.
I told you, you know what I've said to you in the past, and I believe every word of it, and I'm also excited to purchase one of your pieces one of these days. So keep on being obsessed with your art, because you're really incredible.
Thank you so much. I'm honored.
And please post anything you want on this page, and I will highlight your name in the when Facebook goes through and says it's okay to release the video, and then you can share alike, and I know your mom will as well. And I'll see you sometime by the end of the week, and then in person sometime we will see each other.
Perfect. And I will post it and send the link to my little movie.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You too. Thank you, everyone else.
Yeah, thanks you guys. Bye. So then you go like, I'm so getting great at backward. How cool, right? Another day, another 11:11 morning time. Evie, you guys were so awesome last night. That was so fun. Thank you. And please, 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 if this is your first time floating by on 11:11, come back. And isn't she? Oh, she's just great. Isn't she great? Evie, I want you to be a guest, solo or with Keith, or please consider. I do it every day at 11:11 a.m., which is early for you, I know, 8:11, and then 11:11 p.m. And actually, Evie, what are you doing Tuesday night, tomorrow night, or Friday night? I'm doing all women this week. Oh, there's my phone. Ooh, a flash. CBD coffee. There's now CBD coffee. For some reason, and I don't know why, I'm on a Lucia. Ciao, Lucia. Lucia. Everybody, all of you that are here right now, all these artists, all these women. I know there's a couple men here too, or there were. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Lucia is a beautiful chef, an Italian wonder goddess, and Lynette and Evie and Carolyn Brandy, Terry Allen, Teresa Mandarino, who's going to be on Thursday night. Thursday night we're going to drink wine. I know that. So Evie, if you're still there, consider Tuesday night or Friday night or Saturday. Oh, Saturday night's Gary Lambert. So Saturday night will break the spell. But it's a good spell to be a part of. Thank you all so, so, so very much for floating by, scrolling by, however you got here. Yeah, I got all my girls around. Frida, 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 Frida. And it was going to be Jazz Fest inspired, which it's always in my heart. Good morning, Diane Bond. Hello, hello, hello. If you are late to this interview, go check it out when it's posted. Elodie is just, wow. She makes my heart better, and so do you. Thank you so much. Martin, hello. So again tonight, 11:11 with Jenna will feature my sister, Katie Summers, Dr. Katie Summers. She's a veterinarian, and she is going to, you too, Julie, thank you. Katie's going to be on tonight, and we'll talk all things related to, and I didn't turn off my ringer, all things veterinarian questions, and focusing on a little bit of the COVID conversation with cats and animals in general. Have a lovely moment, whatever time zone you are in. Call someone, say hi. If you can take a walk, find some beauty. Love hard.